So let's talk about some positive things. Let's talk about our 7 favorite fixes. 7 because it's Bungie. 7 favorite fixes
Nice.
that the Taken King is going to bring in. Jose, why don't you start?
Can I pick any? Because
Yeah,
I see we
pick
have
one.
our list.
Pick one.
Okay, just pick one. I guess I'm curious to talk about how.
Good
I'm
segue.
I'm taking too long. Sorry, story mechanics. I think.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, there's very little evidence of this clearly, right?
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I had a senior moment, folks.
Yeah.
There's very little evidence of this at the moment, but in the trailers that have been released, you are seeing more and more cinematics, and you're seeing more and more of what appears to be an attempt to tell a story again and kind of rescue this story from itself. Because right now,
Definitely.
It's
not
just
great
we're
now.
not invested. We don't care. There are barely any characters. The darkness is this nebulous thing, and guess what? You slayed it, and now all these other villains keep showing up, and you're
We
like,
did?
well,
Yeah.
what is this about?
We slayed the darkness.
Well, you kind of
Yeah.
slayed something at the end of the game. What was that? The 3 statue like business.
Oh,
I'm sure there's a grimoire card.
I thought that was
explains it
like
all.
some Vex god.
The Vex were sucking something out of the Traveler, so he couldn't heal. And
Proof
now
to my point.
Yeah.
I
It just
had
happened.
to read, like I just wrote Destiny in 5 minutes, so I actually know what happens in the game now. And
to do a lot of
so
reading.
you allow the Traveler to begin healing again. That's what happens at the end of Destiny.
Nice.
But wait,
Yeah.
what was that thing?
The
A Vex
Traveler?
god thing?
It was a Vex heart that was taking away light from the Traveler.
You know what I'm talking about, right? The thing that's in the Black Garden.
Yeah.
It's a
no,
heart.
Of course,
Yeah, the heart.
Okay.
It was shaped
Yeah.
like a heart. Anyway,
Yeah.
but this proves my point. And I'm sure there are some people listening to this going, how can you not, appreciate the story? I'm sorry. When that lady showed up at the end giving me a gun, I'm just like, who are you?
Yeah, right.
Like, why?
You showed up a few times, then you
Yeah.
bailed, then you give me a gun and say, what?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to experiencing how they sort of invest us in these characters and really sort of develop their stories.
The cutscenes, the voice acting, you show up with your fire team in the cutscenes. That stuff looks awesome. I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, definitely. All right,
Sean?
what's your next point? Yeah.
I'm really stoked to see new additions like ghosts and artifacts having stats because
Oh,
I
yeah.
think one of the cool things about anything sort of MMORPG like is that you have a lot of options and customization in your character itself. But in Destiny you only had like 3 armor slots, 4 armor slots, right? And like 2 weapons or 3 weapons. And now we have yet another avenue to explore and collect gear that will affect our character directly. Where before, your ghost was just, it didn't do anything. And
It
now
was
we
just
have,
totally aesthetic. You had a red one or a white one that you could choose from.
Yeah, and you only got
Yeah.
the red
Yeah.
one if you bought a special
Which I
pre-order
did.
stuff.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got- nice.
collector's edition
Nice.
or whatever.
The Vanguard
the limited
DLC,
edition.
whatever.
I forget
yeah.
which one it was.
Waste of money edition.
It was, although
Sorry.
I do
Yeah.
love
That
that
was wrong.
steelbook
Sorry.
case. But yeah, like I think it's cool. Like one of the most interesting things for me from the stream was that as soon as he moused over the ghost, I was like, oh, the ghost has stats.
Yeah.
Like I wonder what
It
other
helps you
ghosts
find
out there.
Spirit Bloom. It has
Oh, I'm not
intellect
even-
and discipline stats.
Yeah, intellect, discipline stats.
Light.
I wonder if it'll have light. I would
does.
love to see, like, there's all kinds of things that could be on Ghosts, like, 10 seconds off your grenade cooldown or whatever,
Yeah,
right? Like,
well-
there could be a lot of different cool things that would make me want to go out and find every ghost out there and customize for different situations.
Well, and it might turn into a system like Phantasy Star Online, where the mag was this thing that sort of helped you out in a fight. And I mean, it's not going to be exact, but it was really cool to have this system where you fed it something and it transformed into something else, and you got different buffs.
Totally.
That was a cool thing, and yeah, your ghost was just something you pulled up to pull up your sparrow or leave the planet. Really.
Yeah, and so that all was just the sort of like what it could be, how much depth there could be added to the game via these new additions. That is super interesting.
Yeah,
to
your
me.
ghost affects your light level because of its defense rating, because it's an average of all your
Yeah.
gear. So
Yeah.
it's going to be really exciting.
And then, I mean, we know nothing about artifacts yet, but I have this strong inkling like it's going
They're
to be
gonna
a
be big.
very powerful.
They
sort of
require
thing.
level 40, so they're going
Yeah.
to be important. Yeah.
They during the stream the artifact block was locked, so we
'Cause he
couldn't
was
even
34.
see. Yeah, we couldn't
Yeah.
even see like what it was or what it did. They won't tell anything.
Probably next stream or the one after.
Yeah, I would be very interested. But like, I'm brought back to the times of like, in World of Warcraft there were artifact weapons which were so powerful that like only one person per like guild could have one. They were that powerful. And I wonder if these or something like that. Like you could only have one per account or something like that, or one per character. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think one of my selections is definitely this. This is the best time to start playing Destiny, especially if you're a new player. Like if you've been waiting or kind of interested, start playing now. You can get an item that automatically bumps you up to level 25, so you can just play with your friends if you want to do that. You can experience the new story with Nolan North voice acting and cutscenes and the new quest system and all these improvements that they're making with this DLC. I think it's going to be a great time to start playing the game.
I agree.
Well, it also includes all the other content too.
Yeah, and all the other content. You got Prison of Elders, you got all the raids.
And it's $40.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
no.
cool.
That's for the expansion. You'd have to pay more than that, I think, for just the Taken King.
Wait, $60 for the whole thing though, all of it, right? Yeah,
60,
like that's such a good deal.
So wait, is automatically? I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but is automatically jumping to level 25 though for a new player mean that like to heck with all those pish posh with your story missions from 1 to 20?
Basically,
like, I don't have to deal with any
basically, yeah, you don't have to do that if you don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're only gonna get a bunch of greens and blues anyway. Like it's just
you could go back to it later. You can try out the earlier raids, but yeah, you can
experience the deep immersive storytelling
confusion that we did.
Yeah, we had no idea what was going on.
Okay, I said this earlier, but the entire collection system to me is just a very smart play. I think that I have been exposed to a lot of collector culture, either through the other show that I run here on IGN, based around Nintendo stuff. Yeah, NBC, or even just growing up in like baseball cards or like comic books. And I do feel like the exotic systems for collection specifically, we don't know if it applies to Legendary like we said earlier, is a step in that direction of like, hey, I've got this, I got Galahorn year 1, or I've got this exotic, I've got Suros Regime, I've got, Vex Mytho, whatever. I do wish there was I almost wish there was a way to kind of separate like when you got it to show that off a little bit, because I feel like it does feed into that, but I think that's a really smart system, and I think it's going to really help with Vault Space a ton. Yeah. Because you collectors out there, and you know who you are because you're listening to the show, that collect exotics, now you have a reason to not really fret over keeping something you ultimately don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that also. Sean?
Bounty system.
Oh, yeah, the bounty system's way better.
All of the changes to the bounty system.
So what are the changes? Give people like the quick.
So before you had to access bounties by going to your inventory and like tabbing over and then mousing over the individual bounty to be able to see your progress. Now you can like X to track that bounty, and when you press select, it'll bring it up in your HUD, your ghost HUD, and you can just look at all of them there.
PS4.
Whatever.
The trackpad.
The better place to play Destiny.
No, never.
We're gonna have that sweet exclusive content.
Year before
you're gonna have to wait until year 3.
Yeah. Don't even get me started. But what's so cool is you can now track the bounties. There's all sorts more bounties. Like there isn't just like the 10 bounties you can get from the bounty tracker plus whatever the Queen's bounties and whatever. No one did Eris's, but Eris's as well. Now like the Crucible Quartermaster and the Crucible Handler have PvP exclusive ones. The Bounty Handler still has PvE exclusive ones that are like about patrols in the open world. Then you have all sorts of other bounties that you can complete.
Turn them in anywhere.
Yeah, from the vanguards and stuff, you can turn them in anywhere. It just seems like they've separated the things that you do in the world into way more bounties that are way better organized. And so now it seems like you're just going to have a lot. You're not punished for not wanting to do anything else. Like I never did the patrol bounties because I hate going into the overworld and just being like looking for, the little blinking things and then scanning cracks. Like I thought that was boring. And so I only ever did PvP bounties. And if there were a strike bounty, then I would do those as well. Now, like if all I want to do is strike bounties, I can do that. If all I want to do is PvP bounties, I can do that. Or the overworld bounties, I can do that too. Like they're giving me all sorts of choice and rewarding me for doing whatever I want to do, which is awesome.
My next pick has to be the faction system and how picking a faction actually carries weight.
Yeah.
Like before you would just put on whatever armband and then level that up to 3 and then put on a different armband. Now when you pick, you're locked into that faction for a week. Not only do you get faction rep, but you get Vanguard and Crucible rep at the same time. Yeah. So like you get a chance to get those really, really sweet faction specific weapons or armor. You can unlock the ships easier. You're more likely to unlock the shader that you need. They're kind of fixing that whole totally random shader thing. They really, really did a lot of great work with the faction system.
And now the rewards are worth having.
it.
They look cool.
Yeah.
You can match them so that all of your gear is like of the same set and color scheme, and you look pretty cool. I don't know about you, but that Future War Cult Hunter helmet where it like marquees across and it says FWC, like that's super cool. Like I want that.
Way to represent. I like that.
Last one, Jose.
The last one
Number
is
5.
that leveling and light is now how it should have always been. So
That's how I feel.
Yeah, if you played Destiny from 1 to 20, you level 1 to level 20, you played a game that was very different than the end game, where in year 1 the end game became tied to I have to find pieces of armor that have a certain light level, and only by high light levels would I be able to then increase my level. That was painful. Like that actually made me stop playing for a while after post level 20 because it was so infuriating that you really didn't have a say in how you were able to level. And
then with Dark Below, you just go to the vendors and buy gear. Like they made it so easy after that. It just didn't make sense.
They did, yeah. And Vanguard marks started playing more of a role. And it's almost like once you hit 20 in Destiny in year 1, you needed a plan. To be able, a plan and luck to be able to get through all of those levels. And so now the fact that it's going to stay that way is actually a little jarring to me. Like I'm still like, pinch me. Is this real? Like it still is something I can't quite believe they finally gave in on and are going to do. And I'm excited to now discover, and I say excited because I mean that, like, how slow is it going to be to chew through these bars? How many strikes am I going to have to do? Is there some BS cap that they're not talking about yet?
Yeah.
I can't imagine that it's going to be that hard.
Well, I know, but like look at Vanguard marks. You only allow like 100 in a week. Like,
well, they're fixing that too.
Yeah, well, they're fixing that too. But I just hope that behind all of this is not some surprise. You're only allowed to level up like so many times.
I wonder if that's
going to control the player base.
I wonder if that's going to break the achievements because there's like get the max Vanguard marks for a week, but there is no max. Oh, that'll be interesting. Let's see if they break their game.
Though.
There is not. There are.
There's a cap.
Well, there's a cap for legendary marks, but there's no Vanguard marks anymore. So I wonder if that's going to break the achievement and trophy.
Yeah, so
anyway,
this is
totally
a favorite
separate,
fix, though, and I do want to emphasize that. Like, I know I'm a little worried also with part of this, but I am very glad that this has happened, and I'm excited to experience the game this way.
It's going to give you that constant feedback, like, hey, you're doing well, you're getting more powerful,
Yeah, I just wonder. I wonder if it nullifies light entirely. Like, I'm very interested in seeing like what a level 40 with 100 light looks like versus a level 40 with 300 light. Like, how much more powerful is that guy? Because what it's going to matter. I mean, you have to imagine it's going to matter in like Iron Banana or in raids when
Iron Banana?
Yeah. Sorry, it's something Alfredo says all the time, and now it just sticks with me because I think it's funny.
Nice.
But before, your level cap was supposed to matter, and there was varying sort of degrees to which it did when in Iron Banana. But like now it's like if I'm level 40. How much more effective am I with light? Like, is light actually effective, or is it just sort of like a vanity number? I would want to know.
Yeah, but it'll be great to have that celebration, to your point a second ago, where World of Warcraft, like, there was a whole subculture around, ding, you leveled up. And that, like, Destiny started out that way and then lost it. And I'm just like, well, it'll be nice to have
20,
that
that's gone.
Yeah, everyone will see, oh, you're
it's a
level
reward thing.
Now.
It's like being at a casino and getting a little bit of money. That's why people stay there.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me this week. Really good episode, I think.
Yeah, thank you.
Jose, thanks for coming back.
Yeah, I can't promise. I will not guarantee or
you're doing our review, right?
Yeah, I will be signing that. I'll be writing that in a couple weeks when we get the game. I'm really excited to get my hands on it again. Started playing more again, so that's nice too.
Have anything you want to plug before we go?
Not really. I mean, if you're listening to this and you have any interest in Nintendo, I run a show, Nintendo Voice Chat, and there's a fun Super Mario Maker IGN challenge happening that you should totally be watching because it is hilarious.
Cool.
I hope.
Finnegan?
Follow me on Twitter at I'm Finnegan and add me on Xbox Live at Finnegan _II, Xbox One for life. Also, head over to go.ign.com/store for a lot of our really cool stuff.
Right.
There's a Fireteam chat shirt, so represent. Fran would be angry if we did not mention that.
Good point.
If you're listening to us on iTunes, definitely subscribe and leave us a review there. #1 podcast for Destiny. Put it in there. Let us know.
Yeah.
And that's it for me.
Yeah, for me, just follow me on Twitter at Destin Legary. I do a lot of stuff here, so who knows when the next thing's going to be coming out. And until next time, thank you guys for joining us. And it's Guardians out. Jose still won't do it.